Hello, everyone. Welcome to my show. Autumn is here. I'm your host, Francine Crawford, and I'm here with Simon Chambers, who is a director and producer of this show that is wonderful. It's called Much Ado About Dying, and we're so happy to have him here to talk to us about it. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Francine. Thanks so much. It's lovely to be talking to you. I'm in London right now, but I'll be coming across to the US in a few days' time and showing this movie at the Film Forum in New York. And then also we're going across to LA. So I'm really pleased to be talking about all these really important issues about aging and how we deal with it and how to have the best kind of aging. And also, dare I say it, a good death or a good end to our lives.
Yes. See, that's the point. People say dying, but you have to live before you die. And how is that life going to be? The quality of life that you're going to have before you pass away. So first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I have been a documentary filmmaker for quite a while. And I was away in India because I'd shifted to India and had been living there for about 5 years. And I've got this uncle in London who we've always been close. And because we're both really arty, we love going to the theater, we love films and TV and all of that, reading and all of that kind of thing. And so I was away in India and I was making documentaries over there. And then I kept getting calls from him and he was saying, oh, he's a very kind of over the top. He was an actor. So, they can be a little bit over the top, can't they? So he's going, oh, Simon, you've got to come back to London. I need you. I'm dying. And so I got some friends to go around to his place and check up on him, make sure he's okay. And then they were also helping him out a bit. But then it got to a point where they did say, listen, you need to come back home now because he needs you. So I jumped on a plane, came back to London, thinking, of course, that I would, sort him out 2 months later, go back to India. But of course, that never happened. And 5 years later, I was still caring for him. And so what happened during that time was I made this film, but it was probably 80% care work and 20% filming. So, most of what I was doing was looking after him. And during that time, I really got to understand what the issues are about, aging, some of the things that people are dealing with, and also some of the things that people are dealing with who care for those elderly people. And my aim and his aim really was to make sure that he had a really good life, got the most out of life. And I think when you see the movie, you'll see that he's one of those people that is determined to get the most out of life. And he's got a very positive attitude, even when all these terrible things go wrong, which are in the movie, drastic things. I don't think I should give them away because when your viewers come and see the movie, they'll be surprised when they see what happens. And you know what I'm talking about, right?
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
I absolutely do. And I enjoyed it. So at what point did you say, I'm going to put this on film? Because you're letting people into your personal life and his personal life and the journey. So at what point did you say, this needs to be on film to share with others?
Well, the thing is, Maxine, I had no intention of making this into a film whatsoever. I was really just caring for him. That was my main thing. But he kept saying to me, listen, you're a film director, you're a documentary maker. What's your problem? You need to film me. Because actually what I realized is that, actors never feel more alive than when they're actually performing and when they're either on stage or in a movie. They're always saying, oh, I haven't got any work. I'm feeling really depressed at the moment. And then as soon as they get a job, they become alive again. And one thing I realized was that he was actually, a lot of your listeners will have looked after older people, or they'll be older people themselves. And what you realize is that when you're in a family, you can sometimes be a little grouchy with each other. You can take each other for granted, and you can you know, you can get annoyed with each other, but you obviously you love each other, but you can be saying, you know, like my uncle, you say, "Oh no, you got the wrong honey again. You know I don't like this hard honey. I like the runny honey. What? You never listen to me, do you?" So we were quite grouchy the whole time. But what I realized is when I had the camera rolling, he was much nicer and I was much nicer. We got on much better with each other and we had a lot of fun with each other. The camera was a lot of fun. And I'm not saying he performed because he's him being himself, but we were aware that the camera was running. So I had all this footage of him, and I had never intended to do anything with it. But then I showed a few people, and they said, "Oh my goodness, this is fascinating. I mean, this guy, he's something else. You know, he can be a real kind of influence, or you know, and to sort of help older people think about their lives in a slightly different way, because there are all these calamities that happen in the movie, and he's so positive about, like, at each time something happens, even when he's told that he only has a couple of months to live, his response is, "Oh, well, I better get on and write that book that I was trying to do." And you know, he's just positive. And even we do see him going towards his moment of death. We don't see the actual death or anything, because I think that would be too macabre. But you know, he actually is sitting up in the bed and he's singing that song by Hot Chocolate called "I Believe in Miracles, You Sexy Thing."
Yes.
And he's singing that. You remember that bit of the movie, right?
Yes. Yes.
So he's singing that 2 or 3 days before he dies, and you know, he knows he's going, but he's being very positive. And then another moment he sings, "I will survive." And I think it's a sort of, he knows that he's going, but he thinks it's quite funny that you know, that and he's at peace with himself.
That's what's wonderful about it. Also, there's so much that's wonderful about this film, but that's what's wonderful, seeing someone who's accepting of, okay, this is the direction we're going in. Okay, now how we're going to do this. This is how we're going to do this. This is how I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do. And you're helping him to have some enjoyment in life, especially just with filming, because like you said, he is a performer. So you're giving him that. But there was some times where it was really tough for you doing this, and like you said, you know, family members, we can get agitated and things like that. How hard was it, you know, the sacrifice that you made because you were in India and you came back, and I don't think you expected to stay that long. So how hard was that? How did you go through that? How did you deal with the emotion?
The thing is that, you know, when you're a carer, you just don't really know what's going to happen next. And when I was showing the film, I've shown it around the world to many people now. And quite often I have a queue of people at the end of the film, and they all want to talk about their experience of what it's been like caring for their mom or their grandmother or whoever it was. And they, you know, they all say the same thing, really, which is it's a roller coaster. Like, you have your ups and your downs. And at times you're just thinking, oh my God, there's a bit in the movie. I don't know if you remember it. And some people said, don't put that in the movie. It's not, you know, but it was a very honest reaction of mine at the time. And I said, he has an accident and it has to go to hospital. And then I say, oh, sometimes I just wish that he'd passed away, because it's just more and more and more difficulties. But the ups come as well. Like, you get this incredible payback from hanging out with somebody who is more mature, has been around a few more times than you have. You know, they've kind of got more experience. They understand. Now, in my uncle's case, his memory was a little bit all over the place. So there's things he couldn't remember. He could, of course, you know, people remember all those things from the past a lot more than the recent past. So, you know, they have a kind of wisdom, and I know that's a cliche, but he had a kind of wisdom and a perspective on life that really helped me as a middle-aged man that I am. You know, we all have these kind of anxieties about trying to get everything, fit everything into our lives and worrying about this and worrying about that. I'm a great worrier. And then my uncle's influence was really, well, you know what? Those things are not that big in the bigger picture. The bigger picture is you're born. You don't know where you were before you were born, but you're born, you live, you die. You don't know where you're going to be after you die. Well, some people do, but you know, that's the bigger picture. Now, if you keep looking at that bigger picture, it really helps you to put all those little things that you're worrying about into perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I got a lot from being with him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what do you want people to take from this movie? What do you want to give them from this movie?
So, I mean, I have my own personal needs, really, which as a filmmaker, I mean, if I had to lie down on the psychiatrist's couch and be asked, what is it that kind of gets you excited? What gets me excited is making something for an audience and having the audience laugh, cry, having them be moved by something, but also have them start to think about things in a different way to the way they were thinking about them before. And so that's what I want. And I think that a lot of people do go away from this thinking about old age and dying and care in a different way. I mean, one of the other things, because care work is such an under-recognized and undervalued thing, and I think there are millions of people, I checked it up on the internet, but in the USA, millions of people who are looking after a family member. They're not getting any pay, they're not getting any recognition, and they're having to run around. Now, a lot of those people most of those people are women.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those people are people of color. And I will have to say that people who are family carers are twice as likely to have mental health issues as people that don't have that. And the reason is because it is so stressful. You know, you go away on holiday, you think, okay, I can take a weekend off. I've got everything sorted out. I've got enough groceries in, the fridge is full, the electricity meter's been paid, everything's good. You go away on a weekend, then you get a call. This is what happened to me. I get a call from the police on day 3. They say, "Hi, are you David Gale's nephew?" And I said, "Yeah, that's right." They said, "This is the police here. Something dreadful's happened. I'm not going to tell it because it'll spoil it for the audiences if they come to watch the movie. Something bad's happened, but don't worry, nobody's died."
Mm-hmm.
And I was on my vacation, and you just never know. It's always like that, and so you're always kind of feeling a little stressed. You don't relax, and I want this film to really put carers on the map so that people become more aware of caring. How are we going to look after all? I'm a baby boomer. I'm one of the baby boomers. I don't know if you're younger than me, but I'm 60 now. And, how are we going to look after all of us? How are they going to look after all of us lot when we need to be looked after? Nobody's addressing, the governments are not addressing any of these issues about this. And so I want this film to try and raise the profile of the issue of social care.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, as a former caregiver myself to my mom, this movie did give me all those feelings that you said. I mean, you cry, you laugh, you're moved by it. So I thank you so much for opening up part of your life and sharing it, because you can tell people what's going on, but showing them is different. It's a different impact. And I think this will make an impact for people, caregivers, and people to understand how hard it is and how unpredictable it is. Everybody's situation is different, but it's unpredictable, and how tough it is for you to care for someone. Love sometimes can be hard, and you're doing it for love, but sometimes it's difficult making decisions for someone else and things like that, and keeping them safe. So there's so many different aspects of this film. It's wonderful. I want everyone to see it. It's wonderful, and I'm so grateful that you took the time to interview with us. Is there anything else you want to say to the
No,
audience?
all I'd love to meet people. If they want to come down to the cinemas, they can check on the Film Forum in New York and the Lemley Monica websites. There's a couple of screenings where I'll be there doing Q&As, and I would love people to come down, and then if they don't want to ask a question, I'd love to meet them after the movie, and we can have a coffee or a chit chat. And it's always so nice to meet people that are interested in these issues of old age, and I never tire of talking about it and hearing other people's stories, because everybody's got a different story, and nearly everyone you meet has got some story about either they're a family carer or someone in their family is a family carer, and it's something we need to talk about with each other a lot more.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'll definitely look forward to seeing you. I will be at the Film Forum on the 15th. It opens, so I will be there. I will see you. I will meet you. So I'm excited to see you. And I think you said in California, Santa Monica, you're going to be there on the 22nd. Your film is opening there on the 22nd of March.
That's right.
Yeah, so I hope people look forward to it and look forward to meeting you. And I just thank you so much for giving us this film. Okay, and
Lovely. Thank you so much. I'll just remind people it's called Much Ado About Dying.
Much Ado About Dying, yes.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I've really enjoyed talking to you.
All right, I do too. Thank you. I appreciate it.